Hello students. So as we have discussed chapter 4, so let's discuss the questions like in MCQ format from chapter 4. So welcome to Sakshi Knowledge Hub. Okay. So the first question is Mahavir is regarded as which Tirthankar of Jainism? That is 24th Tirthankar. Mahavir, also known as Vardhaman Mahavir, is regarded as the 24th and last Tirthankar of Jainism. He was born into a Kshatriya clan near Vaishali and is credited with systematizing and spreading Jain teachings. Okay, now second question. According to Jain philosophy, which belief best explains the emphasis on ahimsa, that is, non-injury in everyday conduct? So option 1, only humans possess a soul, even stones, rocks and water possess life soul. Only animals and humans possess soul. The soul is destroyed after death. So the correct answer will be option B. Even stones, rocks and water possess life and soul. A core jhana belief is that the entire world is pervaded by living beings' soul, that is jiva. Even elements like stones, rocks, and waters are believed to possess life, so extreme care, including non-injury, ahimsa, must be exercised in every action. According to Jainism, the cycle of birth and rebirth is governed by which principle? So, in Jainism, the cycle of birth and rebirth is governed by karma. So, karma attached to the soul, requiring renunciation to attain liberation. According to Jain teaching, the cycle of birth and rebirth is shaped by karma attached to the soul. Freedom, moksha from this cycle can only be attained through renunciation of the world and asceticism, not through Vedic rituals or sacrifices. Next question. Which of the five jhana vows is generally attributed to Mahavir as an addition to the earlier four principles? So that was brahmacharya, that is celibacy. The five Jain vows are ahimsa, non-injury; satya, truthfulness; asteya, non-stealing; aparigraha, non-possession; and brahmacharya, that is celibacy. The last of which is generally attributed to have been added by Mahavir to the earlier four principles. Okay, let's discuss the next question. Question number 5. Jainism eventually split into which two major sects? So, as I have already told you, Jainism was further divided into Shvetambars and Digambars. Jainism eventually split into two major sects, the Shvetambars white clad जो कि सफेद कपड़े पहनते थे और Digambars जो कि naked रहते थे sky clad unclothed, reflecting differences over monastic practice, especially regarding clothing and other doctrinal matters. The Buddha Siddhartha Gautam was born at which place? So he was born at Lumbini, and Lumbini is in present day Nepal. Siddhartha Gautam, who became the Buddha, was born in Lumbini in present day Nepal into the Kshatriya Sakya clan. He later renounced worldly life in search of enlightenment. Next question. At which place did the Buddha attain enlightenment? So he attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, which is in present day Bihar. So the Buddha attained enlightenment Bodhi at Bodh Gaya, seated beneath a peepal tree, the Bodhi tree, and delivered his first sermon afterward at Sarnath. तो वहाँ पे आप जब बोध गया में जाओगे तो अभी भी पीपल ट्री वहाँ पे है, विच इज द fifth generation Bodhi tree, हम जानते हैं, which is very famous. Where did the Buddha deliver his first sermon? That is Sarnath. और सारनाथ में कौन सा स्तूपा है? धमिक स्तूप. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, प्लीज रिमेंबर इट. और अभी भी इसको यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट भी बनाया गया है, धमिक स्तूप को. The Buddha delivered his first sermon at Sarnath near Varanasi, where he taught the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path to his first group of disciples. Okay, next question, ninth question. The Buddha's path of moderation, avoiding both extreme luxury and extreme austerity, is known as Madhyam Marg. So बुद्धा ने हमेशा मिडिल पाथ को चुना था, मिडिल पाथ के लिए हमेशा वो फेवरेबल रहे थे. The Buddha's path of practice is often called as the Madhyam Marg, middle path, avoiding both extreme indulgence and extreme self-mortification, and expressed through the Eightfold Path leading towards the cessation of suffering. Next question is, the Buddhist doctrine that the world is transient and constantly changing is called anicca, that is impermanence. Impermanence. Central to Buddhist teaching is the doctrine of impermanence, anicca, the idea that the world is transient and constantly changing, along with related doctrine of suffering and no self, that is anatta. Next question. Which of the following best describe the composition of Buddhist Sangh, that is monastic order? So, option A, it was open only to Kshatriyas, बिल्कुल गलत है. Option B, it was open only to Brahmanas, बिल्कुल गलत है. It was restricted to men of high social status, no, never. And the fourth one is, it was open to people regardless of varna, yes, definitely this is the correct answer. तो आप किसी भी आंसर को मार्क करने के लिए आप एलिमिनेशन मेथड को भी यूज कर सकते हो. ओके, इट वाज ओपन टू पीपल रिगार्डलेस ऑफ वर्ना. एक्सप्लेनेशन देखते हैं क्या है. द बुद्धिस्ट संघ monastic order was notably open to people of all varnas, reflecting the Buddha's critique of the rigid Brahminical social hierarchy and rituals of his time, a significant point of contrast with Vedic Brahmanism. Next question is, what is the collective name for the three main divisions of Buddhist canonical text, that is Tripitaka. The Buddhist canon is traditionally organized into the Tripitaka, three baskets. The Vinay Pitaka, monastic rules जहाँ होते थे. Sut Pitaka, the Buddha's teaching discourses, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka, the philosophical analysis. Next question. Where was the first Buddhist council held shortly after the Buddha's death? So it was held in Rajgriha. The first Buddhist council was held as Rajgriha shortly after the death of Buddha, where his teachings were recited and compiled by his disciples to preserve them accurately. In stupa architecture, what is the term for the solid dome-shaped mound that generally enshrines relics, that is अंडा. तो इस राउंड शेप का होता है, इसे हम लोग अंडा कहते हैं. The anda is the solid dome-shaped hemispherical mound of the stupa, generally believed to enshrine relics of Buddha or other revered figures at its core. What is the term for the stone railings that surrounding a stupa, marking of sacred space, that is Vedika? The Vedika is the stone railing surrounding a stupa, marking sacred space and separating it from the secular world, and often carved with narrative reliefs. The Toran refers to the ornamental gateways set into the Vedika. The next question is, the Sachi Stupa was rediscovered by whom and roughly when? So, Sachi Stupa was rediscovered by General Teller in 1818. Yes. Next question, who led major restoration efforts and established a site museum at Sachi in the early 20th century? That is John Marshall. John Marshall, Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India in the early 20th century, carried out major restoration and conservation work at Sachi and established a site museum there, in sharp contrast to the fate of Amravati, which stupa site suffered extensive dispersal of its sculptures to various collectors and museums, unlike Sachi, that is Amravati. Unlike Sachi, which was carefully conserved, the sculptures of the Amravati stupa were widely dispersed. Many were removed by collectors and officials such as Colin Mackenzie and Walter Elliot, and today many pieces are held in museums in Chennai, Kolkata, and London. In early Buddhist sculptures, symbols such as empty sheath, the wheel, and the footprints were used to represent D. The Buddha's presence before his human depiction developed later. So this was for the Buddha. Next and the last question is, in Vaishnav tradition, the concept explaining Vishnu taking different forms such as Ram or Krishna to restore Dham is called Avatara, that is incarnation. Vaishnavism is the theistic tradition centered on the worship of Vishnu, who is believed to take various avatars, incarnations such as Ram and Krishna, to restore dharma wherever it is threatened, a concept central to Puranic Hindu traditions and bhakti devotions. So these were some of the examples, some of the MCQs from chapter 4. If you have any doubt, you can comment down below in the comment section, and also we will move forward with chapter 5. So keep watching Sakshi Knowledge Hub. Do love, give support, like, subscribe and share.